Okay.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Wait. Coffee.
Good point. Welcome to the first purpl.cast. That's what we're going to call it, apparently. Welcome to the first purpl.cast episode. I'm your host, David.
That's new.
What?
The purpl.cast.
Yeah, I just came up with that on the spot. I'm going to roll with it. Maybe we'll change it in the future. You know, we're having fun here. Who knows what's going to happen? This is going to be crazy. So, we're starting a podcast because, of course, podcasts are cool. And
it's a very millennial thing.
It's a very, very millennial thing. It's the most...
Just like you.
It's the most millennial format out there, I think, of content that you can make. And we're all...
And it makes sense because you're the CEO, you know?
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
have some millennial
We're all
spice
we're all a
in
little
this
millennial.
Gen Z company.
On the inside, we're all a little bit millennial, I would say. But especially me, because also on the outside. All right, so why do I have one of my coworkers, employees, whatever, company structures are weird. Why do I have the one and only Madishu here today with us? The one and only. Why are you sitting in the seat?
I don't know. Why
Cool,
am
perfect. So I'm gonna let you and everybody else know. I just wanna start out the podcast with introducing the people that are working within Purpl, because I've always enjoyed, like TikToks where employees take over like their TikTok account, or a couple companies do the same with Instagram stories.
Maybe I can steal your TikTok account.
I mean, it's going to be more successful if you do it than me, probably. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, so I just want, I feel like I know you pretty well, but the people out there...
You feel like it?
I feel like it.
He feels like it.
I feel like it. But the people out there might not know who you are, so I want to give everybody a chance to get to know you.
That's a pity if they don't.
Wow. Anyway, they're getting a chance to do that right now. So why don't you give us short summary of who you are, and how childhood all the way back to World War II. Just short summary.
When you're put in the spot and you're asked, "Who are you?"
Yep.
and you suddenly forget everything about your life. Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
Who am I? That's a deep question.
Very deep. We're very deep here on the purpl.cast.
I can start from the moment my mom and my dad.
No. Okay, no. We don't wanna go that far back. No.
Okay.
Seriously, how did you start out in life? What were your early interests? I would say.
My early interests. How early?
As far back as you can remember.
Well, it all started with my mom. And
okay, never mind.
Okay, well, so hi, I'm Madishu. I am a musician, a releasing artist, multi-instrumentalist, artist, performer, and also the CFO.
No. CFO is finances.
Okay,
and
the C something.
Creative director.
Yeah,
I think it's what it says on the website.
I'm that for purpl.media.
Yeah, exactly. And you manage our team.
Yeah.
You hold everybody together.
Yep.
You're the glue that keeps purpl.media together.
I think that's Notion. But
Notion keeps the purpl.
I'm keeping Notion together.
Which keeps the team together.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And also taking care that the visuals and everything branding is on point. And when we do things for other people, for our clients. Should I say that?
Yeah, of course.
When we do things for our clients, also making sure everything looks nice, everything's,
put together, I would say.
Aesthetic, there is a theme going throughout all the works that Purpl does.
Yeah.
In terms of my personal life, or career life.
Personal, career, everything, just getting to know you a little bit better.
Well, where should I start?
When your mom and your dad... No, never mind that. No, but so for example, I always think it's interesting when you talk to people and you kind of get a vibe for them, but you might not know every detail about their life at all, or know them at all, really. But you kind of getting into the person. It's oh, they like this and they're good at this. And then you kind of start talking to them about their early childhood, and then you're oh, okay, it makes sense. So when you think back to your early years, little Madishu, little Madishu was into...
Well, I was always a musician, into arts, and I was always an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Yeah, that word.
So I started playing piano, self-taught, about the age of like 4, maybe. I don't know. I had this like little toy piano that I kept playing around, and then my parents bought me like an actual piano with like all the like octaves and stuff. And the first song I learned was the fairy tale song from Shrek, the beginning that from Shrek,
If you don't know Shrek, like,
They know
don't
Shrek.
even talk to her. You know what I
should
mean?
know Shrek.
You should know Shrek.
Who
Fairy tale.
doesn't? Who doesn't? Okay. Yeah, so a lot of my musical taste is influenced by the Shrek movies. But we're not going to talk about that. It's fine.
Not gonna talk about
It's
Shrek.
fine. We can make a whole podcast about Shrek.
We can make a podcast about Shrek and
and
the marketing
how
behind
musically genius it is, yes.
it. Yeah, we can do that.
Well.
So like you started out with music, but I mean I of course know you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so
But like so from the music, how did it kind of go like into all these different things like visual arts, painting?
well, I was always trying to find new ways to keep myself entertained, and I was never into like numbers and physics and
Yeah,
chemistry.
yeah.
So, I was always naturally drawn to like all the creative works. I used to write poems in first grade, which I later paired with playing piano. And about like 9 years old, that's when I wrote my first song for my mom as like a gift for my mom, which is like a starting point for me in songwriting, and also like understanding, looking back now is like, why did I start writing songs? I started writing songs for other people, so that's really coming in my story now, like the reason I write songs to like make people feel good about themselves, about what they're going through, to be like a shoulder to cry on.
In song form.
In a song form, yes. But then, music was not enough to entertain me, so I had to, let my creativity flow in all sorts of
for sure.
arts. Like I was in dance classes for like 4 years. I painted a lot. Actually did a year of art school as well, a year of interior design, and I've about like middle school, I had my own little business where I like made jewelry and sold them at expos in my hometown. And I also learned how to sew, and then I picked up the guitar, and then I started like producing later. And yeah,
so producing music, because
producing
not everybody who is watching this right now might be a musician, but
well,
like
I did produce videos as well.
yeah.
I
So in music production is basically you can compare it to cooking, where as a chef you have like all these ingredients, and at some point you have to put it together and actually make it into a dish. So a guitar might be an ingredient, or a vocal might be an ingredient, or lyrics might be an ingredient, but at some point like somebody has to bring it together, and that's the role of a producer in music. And I think it's pretty interesting, because I always bring up that cooking analogy because I myself like to cook, and it feels quite the same to producing. Now I think I'm a better music producer than cook. But still, it's about like, taking all these little pieces and putting them together. And, when I started Purple, again, it's like very much the same thing, I feel like, because you have like, the finances and the numbers over here. And over here you have the visual aspect and like the more artistic aspect. And it all kind of has to come together at some point, because the one can't live without the other. And in the business, if you only focus on like, people have like, there's people out there who are like only about the numbers and only about the analytics. And that's cool and all, but it becomes very dry and very boring real quick. On the other hand, if you're only about like, the visual aspects and the arts and the branding and everything, your business might not survive for that long, because you need to actually make money in some way. So it really feels like you're bringing everything together. But like back to you. So we started working together on music 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was about, I think it's 2020.
2020. Yeah, that when the quarantine started.
Exactly, pretty much exactly with the beginning of quarantine.
Yes.
And since then, we've been working together on music. And when I started Purple, I was like, hey, I'm gonna need somebody who is very good at, like, aesthetics, making sure everything kind of like has a feel to it, has a vibe to it. I know I'm not gonna be that person because I just know that that's not me, and that's cool and that's fine. And how has it been for you so far to like take these skills that you've gathered through, like you said, interior design and painting and like all different kinds of arts, and kind of apply it to more of a like company structure and more like a business context than just purely being about the art itself?
Well, first of all, for me, it has always kind of been mostly about the art. I do struggle a lot with like putting it into like a business setting, I guess, because I don't see as myself as like a business.
Yep.
I would say more like of an entrepreneur, and like as a it's difficult with music in general to like have it in your head as like a business setting. But I think this was like a good part of our collaboration when we mostly did music together.
Now we're doing a lot of other things, but we started out with just music. Yeah.
Because you are so into like the numbers, and for me, the art of it is important. And I would like, as an example, I would bring up Melanie Martinez. When I've watched her interviews and saw how she's creating stuff, I really related to that, because that is exactly what I'm trying to like come through with my projects.
Yeah.
Like have the videos and the artwork and the music and everything is together as a package. Like when I look at the artwork, I need to hear the song, and I need to like, it's all like a theme, and like it should be like a thing, it should feel like this whole package is an experience. And not just, here's the song and here's the cover art and here's the music video, completely unrelated to each other. Like that is not what I'm going for. And like the shirts or like the trend on TikTok or whatever should also be part of this experience that I'm trying to create with the song, the part of the feeling that people should get. I think one of the closest I've gotten to what I'm trying to achieve, because of course, a lot more things you can achieve with a lot more budget, but with the resources and knowledge that I had at the moment, I think Devil is a Girl is like a good example. And Fuck You, I'm a Fairy, you can beep that.
And we can swear on the podcast.
Okay, and Fuck You, I'm a Fairy, I think Fuck You, I'm a Fairy was even more of a theme than The Devil is a Girl, because of the whole TikTok thing that happened when people like started dressing up as fairies and then making videos to the song.
True.
I mean, TikTok didn't really like the song because it had swear words in it, but generally did pretty well considering that. And then Devil is a Girl, I think, was a theme within what I was doing. And also, like, when people, like, saw me, they're like, yes, The Devil is a Girl, that one song.
Yeah. I think with Devil is a Girl, it happened the most where people connected you to the song.
Yeah.
Like, they saw you and it was like, oh, you just came out with I just heard The Devil is a Girl. And they just kept bringing it up. Because I think, so a little bit of a backstory, we made an EP, an album together, and that was the first single that we released. And naturally, the first thing that comes out is like...
Well, Why Might a Party was the first one.
Oh, true. But I wouldn't consider that like one of the singles.
Yeah, it was the intro.
It was like the intro. It wasn't one of the main focal points.
Like spoiler.
Yeah, and so the first thing then that comes out, you naturally kind of like put the most focus on. If you haven't like really had a structure in the whole thing, and back then we kind of didn't. It's all a little bit thrown together, but we made the best out of it. And so that's when I like really saw, I was like, okay, everybody's mentioning The Devil's a Girl, and it became like you as an artist and Devil is a Girl. But coming back to like my actual question, is like, how is all that you just said, because you made that for yourself and for yourself as an artist, and it's very different presenting yourself as an artist versus presenting a business or presenting a client of your business. So how is the whole like, okay, now you got to keep like a business together visually compared to like I'm presenting myself as a person, as an artist?
Well, as a business, you should really be aware of what your branding is. Like when you think of red, you think of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
When you think of
oh, hold on a second. I have my Coca-Cola socks, everybody.
That.
Yeah. The perfect example. Yeah.
When you think of purple in the foods industry, you think of Milka, like the chocolate. And
it's like a European chocolate for our American viewers. It's like the Hershey's of the German world.
Oh,
no, they don't. No, it's not in the US.
I didn't know that. I never thought about it.
No, they don't got no.
Oh, well.
Anyways.
Yeah, so I knew that I didn't have really like a clothing style that I wanted to go with when I started music, and but I did have a favorite color, which is purple. I was always obsessed with it, and
me too.
And I didn't realize that was like a business move, you know, to just wear purple all the time. I didn't know that, but then at some point, people started sending me messages with like a picture. I got once a picture of the shampoo, and the person said, every time I shower and use this shampoo, I think of you because the packaging is purple.
Just because it's purple.
It was kind of weird, but like funny, you know? And every time people like send me pictures of something purple, and then they're like, I thought of you. And they're like, every time I wear this purple shirt, the only thing that comes to my mind is you. And yeah, that was like a subconscious, or like I'm not a conscious, not a thought out thing that I did, but it was like a branding move, and it worked. And now it's just this when it comes to a
Short technical break. Just had to check that the audio is still recording. We're good.
So when it comes to branding, if you're thinking yourself as an artist, you're not gonna go on to brand yourself. But if you think yourself as a business, you will understand, you know, the importance of branding yourself. Like when you're an artist, you're just the product of basically of your art, or like you're one of the products that you're offering. And
I think like it goes a little bit deeper than just like you being the product. It's like how people connect to you. Like that's even a product, you know. Like for artists, it's very, very important to be like, how do people relate to me? In what way do they relate? So like that relationship even can be seen as a product. So it's a very, for me, sometimes weird way to think about it.
Yeah,
but
it is pretty weird.
It is a very weird thing sometimes.
Well, so now going back to branding, I think it's important for every artist to have, as well as for every business. You want people to associate certain things with you. You know, when you think of a high ponytail, who else you can think of than Ariana Grande? And if you think of like oversized shirts and crazy colored hair and like the whispery voice, you instantly think of Billie. Like everybody has like certain things like that, you know, that is part of the branding. And you know, when it comes to people like Billie and Ariana, they have a whole marketing team behind them. So like not who knows who actually, if they thought about what all these things or if it was the marketing team. And this is where independent artists, you know, kind of, I feel like they kind of fail at this point usually. So going back to what I did, but not knowing about it, because when I had comparing or like seeing now, I'm having a realization right now. So,
well, please,
when
live on the
I
pod.
was an entrepreneur selling my jewelry, I also had like a logo and my the thing that I put, how do you call it? The tags that you put on bracelets, all of those with like my logo and the purple and the aesthetic. And
even back then it was purple.
yeah,
Oh,
it was purple.
That's
And
nice.
everything was branded, and I had like collections. I had an autumn collection, and I had the orange branding. Orange is not the new black or whatever. Don't wear orange, wear purple.
just wear purple.
We just wear purple. So,
Except for on Halloween, then orange is okay. But like every other day, just wear purple.
yeah. So so I did this purple thing unconsciously, or I keep saying unconsciously. I did consciously wear purple, but you know what I mean.
So the intention was not, hey, I'm gonna wear purple for branding purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you mean. Yeah,
Exactly.
I get that.
And then I feel like for me, a lot of my branding things came from obsessions. Like purple. An obsession, obviously, but then that turned out to be a smart branding move. And then the Band-Aids, the logo, was also an obsession of mine, that I used to use Band-Aids instead of stickers. So I have the 2 Band-Aids on my guitar, and then people started like saying that that's cool and stuff. And then I'm like, well, this really connects to my music because healing and like therapeutic and all of this together, and then that's the logo, and also like what you stand for as an artist. Like Billie Eilish stands for like body image, and I also should think about that. But sometimes I'm like, yes, it's healing, it's therapeutic, and it changes from time to time what I stand for, or like what's the one sentence that you can say that I stand for when it comes to being an artist, because there are a lot of causes that I say like too many times. I should stop.
That's like totally okay.
Shut up. No. So there are a lot of movements, a lot of things that I support, but like
it's okay.
You gotta figure out what's the one sentence, what's the one thing that's gonna stay with you throughout your career. It of course can change.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think with all these rules that you put out there, like, oh, you have to have that one sentence that describes you. That's like, one of those business things. It's like, in one sentence or less, you got to be able to describe yourself.
No, see, with Billie, no matter what she's gonna do, her purpose always will seem like body positivity. Like the way she went from baggy clothes to like showing her body is like empowering. And I feel like for her, no matter what she will do, that will always be like in the back there,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, what's the one thing that's, no matter what you do, will always be there with you. And I think that's a thing you also have to think about and discover. I mean, who knows if how did Billie come up with it? Maybe, she was just wearing baggy clothes, and then her marketing team was like, that should be your point.
That's always a thing.
Was she like, I'm for body positivity, and this is why I'm wearing baggy clothes. And another thing, because I was a follower of her from like the very, very early,
the OG
Ocean Eyes, she wasn't always wearing baggy clothes. So did she start wearing baggy clothes when she got signed or when she had the marketing team? Or was that a decision made by her?
It's an interesting thing, and it comes up constantly when you talk to people about artists and the music business, the music industry in general, that don't have like an understanding of it, when they're like, oh, Miley Cyrus, I thought was always a great example, because she went like from, like this teeny Hannah Montana Disney Channel face to like, oh, I cut my hair short and now I'm twerking on stage. Like that whole thing, they were like, oh, she's changed so much and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it seems like. But at the end of the day, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know if like some marketing executive came up with like, yo, this Hannah Montana thing is getting kind of old. We need like a little bit of a rebellious phase. And it helped her. It really pushed her during that time. But you never know like what's going on behind the scenes. If that was purely her intention, or if it was like a marketing executive that knew she was stuck in a contract, so she kind of had to roll with it. Music business, like.
Yeah. Well, I also saw a TikTok on my For You page now about marketing promotion theory from Taylor Swift. Apparently, in one of her albums, one of the singles had a phrase, I like spelling.
Okay.
And people started talking about it and hating on it. But then when the album dropped, that phrase wasn't there anymore. And people then had to come up with theories. Why is that phrase not in the song anymore? And some people was like, she maybe got too much hate for it, or maybe she realized that is dumb to say that in a song. But a marketing business person on TikTok, or the video was basically about what if the reason she took the phrase out was to get more streams, because people would actually go and listen to the song to see if the phrase is or isn't there anymore, to see if it's true that the phrase isn't there anymore.
And what if like it was a decision by her marketing team?
Yeah,
and she wanted to leave it in or something. That's
just like the ABCDEFU song. Also, the person that commented write the song with the letters of the alphabet was like a person from her marketing team.
Yeah. So I think I want to transition into that a little bit, because we at Purple Media are very much about TikTok, as you might have noticed. No, not at all.
What do you mean? TikTok?
What TikTok
is like the thing that the Gen Z's
that's like just for the kids these days, with their silly little dances.
Don't get millennials on
and their silly little outfits and stuff. No, but like of course here we're very, very much into the TikToks. And how do you feel like TikTok differentiates from other platforms, and how they have influenced music and how to market music? I just want to get your like take on it first, and then I'll give my 2 cents.
TikTok's influence on music. I think that there will always be music and artists blowing up because they are really, really, really good. Not necessarily through TikTok. But I feel like if you have that celebrity charm, or if you want to learn to have it and you succeed with that, then, the posts and will kind of go viral, and you will kind of be famous, and then your music will kind of blow up, and it's kind of TikTok, Yeah, but it kind of rules what's in top charts right now, because if it's not on TikTok, it's probably not in the top charts.
Yeah.
But you can still be a really good artist with a big audience and not be in the top charts. Like one thing that I think it's important for all the artists out there to know, you don't have to be a global star like Billy, and you don't have to be on top charts to make a living with music. If your goal is to make music and art and make a living with it, you don't need to be that high up on the charts. I mean, you for sure can strive to be there, but if you don't like making TikToks, you will probably not get there. Unless people like your fans pick it up, and then it kind of blows up because of your fans, like with Suburban. Suburban, yeah. It kind of happened with him and Ashniko as well.
Well, also
like those are artists that emerged from TikTok without them being on TikTok, making TikToks actively.
Yeah, that the thing with charts is that it's when you look at like chart placement, what goes into chart placement, of course, is things like streaming, but very much still things like album sales and radio play. So you can absolutely be in the charts as a Dua Lipa without making TikToks all day, just because your shit gets played on the radio all the damn time and you get placed in like TV shows and more of the traditional media side. So like everything is possible in both directions.
Well, if we're talking about like Dua Lipa, then she has like a whole team and a label behind her.
Oh, she's like the biggest thing right now, of course.
She's not, but is she?
Oh, in terms of popular artists, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, she is, but like, yeah. The thing is, like, TikTok is giving artists that don't have a label behind them also have a chance to get their songs up there on the top charts.
Yeah, and going back to my other question, do you think that's the same case with like other social media platforms, or is that like a TikTok special, so to speak?
It's definitely a TikTok special. I mean, maybe YouTube, but people go on YouTube to learn more, I feel like, than to, just scroll through an endless feed of videos, jokes, to-dos, DIYs, music, trends. It just has everything.
I actually don't think YouTube and TikTok are that different in the way they serve you content. What TikTok, and here's my theory about why TikTok is the way it is right now. So there's always a balance between content, and now we're going back to like more businessy stuff, but that's what we're here for. Between the demand and then the supply. So if there's a lot of demand for content on a certain platform, but not a lot of supply, chances are the few videos that are there are going to blow up more easily because of all the demand that's there. And TikTok was kind of like in that spot about a year ago, I feel like, where everybody was starting to be on TikTok, but not that many people were going hard on TikTok as creators yet. Now it's a little bit different. It's still relatively easy, comparatively speaking, on TikTok to blow up compared to other platforms, but that scale, the demand versus supply is leveling out a little bit more. Where on YouTube, yes, there's a lot of demand there, but there's also a ton of supply there. And
is there a ton of supply?
Yes, there is. When you look at, and also like the way that people consume content on YouTube versus TikTok, of course, is different. But YouTube still has like ways to like make you stay on the platform for as long as possible. Also, you might watch one YouTube video, and in the same time, you might watch 35 TikToks or more. So of course, it's a little bit different. But with YouTube, the level between supply and demand is a little bit more even than on TikTok. So that's my like 2 cents on why TikTok is the way it is. And on Instagram, for example, let's go back to like Instagram 2014, 2015, something like that. It was starting to like get into the mainstream of a lot of people, pretty much everyone. And then around, I would say like 2017, something like that, it kind of hit a peak. Don't quote me on that. It's just like gut feeling right now. And you could also post an Instagram post and get on the whatever Explorer feed was called back in the day, and have it just blow up randomly.
Yeah, but Instagram then created a whole lot of influencers, which was based on like aesthetics, like what do they wear, what do they eat, and not focused on the music and the audio, which is where TikTok is different and why people are having music blowing up on TikTok, because you can hear it and you get like a feel for the song before you go out to Spotify to search for it.
And not just that, it's not just static audio. And with static audio, I mean, it's like it's more than just, I'm going to put this song behind my video. It's like you can mix the song with like a voiceover. You can stitch it. You can so there's like this whole ecosystem of audio being an integral part of the video experience, and it's like so collaborative. Like the platform is set up to like spread audio around, and like Instagram. Sorry, just a second. On the other hand, started out as a purely image-based platform. It was like for photography nerds, basically, to upload their photos. And then they became more like video-focused and like stories and stuff. So.
Well, you know how TikTok started? As Musical.ly.
Musical.ly, yeah.
So people would dance to songs, literally.
Yeah, so it's very much like in TikTok's DNA that audio is like a big part of the platform.
Especially songs and music.
Yeah.
Because people still do their little dances and stuff.
But I think like... Not just
like
music, audio in general, because you also have audios blowing up that don't necessarily have music in it.
Yeah.
But other people pick up audios and do their own video to it too.
Yeah.
So it's just a very, first of all, collaborative platform, and then one that focuses a lot on audio as like an important part of the whole experience.
You know, I'm wondering what's the next TikTok, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What app is there right now probably existing? But nobody is using it yet.
I don't think we're going to see that very soon because we haven't hit the peak of TikTok yet. So I feel like it always comes in waves and they kind of overlap a little bit. So once one platform kind of hits its peak, everybody's on it. Like it's just the shit, right? So like Facebook had its peak, Instagram had its peak. I wouldn't even say YouTube had its peak. It just kind of keeps growing steadily. That's a little bit different, but like a lot of other things kind of like, you know, came and went in waves.
I think the reason why YouTube is not going away anytime soon is because it's not destroying itself like Instagram did.
What do you mean with destroying itself?
Like... They didn't add, like, it's not an accent on, like, posts. Yes, you can make posts still, but it's like nobody does it. And then there's the YouTube Shorts, but then that's it. The focus is still on the long-form videos, while Facebook added so many features to it. Like, I don't want to get into that, man. You have the page, you have events, you have... podcasts, you have everything on.
Yeah.
You have everything.
You have Facebook Watch and stuff where they tried to be like YouTube.
Stories, Facebook Reels,
Facebook
I don't know.
stories.
They did everything. And since Facebook bought Instagram has been getting more and more features as well. And it's ruining the essence of what Instagram was. And TikTok is not doing that as much. They added stories and they added longer videos. So, but I think they might have like a longer lifespan if they don't add that many features.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting conversation.
Because you see, YouTube only had the long form and then they added the posts. And then after a while, they added the shorts. They didn't add like a story feature. They didn't add anything like that. And I don't feel like they are going to add...
I think one thing with YouTube is it's very much based on search because it's like in the Google DNA, which makes it just by the nature of it a little bit more like, you know, you can extend that for longer when something is searchable rather than a feed-based thing where you kind of just scroll like Instagram, Facebook, and everything. See,
on Instagram, I'm not going to search for stuff.
No, exactly. That's not the platform.
I am going to search on TikTok a whole lot of times when I just want the quick how-to video.
Yeah.
Instead of going to Facebook and getting like one video from one person, I can watch all the videos from all the different peoples about how to, like the last one I've watched, it was today, was like how to keep my hair dye in for longer.
Yeah.
And then I watched all the tips from all these different people. And they didn't give me like an ad, a whole intro, their whole backstory, and then get into it. Yeah. No, I just saw the tips from like 15 people.
I think search is something that's going to be very interesting to see what TikTok does with it. Because, for example, now, again, getting back more into like the business and the marketing side of it, there's search ads now on TikTok where if you, for example, you know, you search for what's the best hair dye, and the first thing that pops up is a company that sells hair dye. So there's like things that TikTok also is doing with search that I don't see really Instagram or like Facebook and stuff doing. So it's going to be interesting to see where this whole thing goes.
You know what I would like not to happen on TikTok?
What's up?
Like, even if people use good quality cameras, I think businesses shouldn't forget about the nature of TikTok.
Yeah, I think that's true. Very true.
Like, just posting an ad on TikTok, I don't want that to work. They should get creative with it. Like, nobody's gonna just watch an ad.
Yeah, and I think
like,
that's...
the ad has to be made for TikTok.
The ad needs to be just a good video. And that's, I think, for everybody out there who's actually trying to learn something with this podcast, is to keep in mind that there's a lot of people out there that tell you, oh, like, you got to do this with TikTok, and, you know, it's important that you do this and the algorithm and whatever. And the only thing that I've seen in the 2+ years that I've been on TikTok, and before that Musical.ly, I actually had Musical.ly on my phone when it was still Musical.ly.
Me too.
That the only thing that I've seen to be a constant throughout everything is, if your video is really good, it's gonna do well. If you make shitty videos, it's not gonna do well. And everything else kind of comes and goes and matters at some point, and it doesn't matter at other points. The only thing that I've really seen be true on TikTok throughout the years is, you have to make a good TikTok. And don't try to make a YouTube video and then repost it on TikTok. Or don't try to make like,
you know,
an ad, like to make it look like, oh, super professional or something. It just, you gotta make a good TikTok and it's gonna do well.
It doesn't mean that the ad or the YouTube video aren't good. That just means
exactly,
that they aren't suitable for TikTok itself. Like, you have to consider, like, you're sitting on the toilet watching TikToks. Am I gonna keep scrolling to see something that interests me, or am I gonna watch this ad till the end?
And the
Probably
thing is,
no.
And the thing is, TikTok is gonna show me something that I'm interested in. So unless your video or your ad is really good, I'm gonna keep scrolling, because I just need to scroll once, and there's gonna be a video that I find informative, funny, whatever I'm interested in, because TikTok is good at figuring that out before you even know it yourself sometimes.
Yep.
So
I've noticed that thing that you said, that they sometimes they test you and they throw in a video.
I mean? Yeah.
And then the next one is the same as the last one, the same time, or from the same creator. And then you scroll one more, it's like nothing. But then you scroll one more time, and there's like a third one of the same type.
I think so.
And then they like either show you more of that or never show it to you again.
So that's what I told you. So, like, sometimes they test you on these, and unless it's something you want to see more of, like, quickly scroll, because, like, I'm not interested in baby videos, for example. If that's your stuff, like, you do you. I'm not interested in that. But sometimes I'm gonna have a baby video, scroll. Another baby video, I'm like, oh, I need to scroll here too, and then it's like normal things in my feed again. So it's like they always try to show you more things, like, hey, are you interested in this? And based on your behavior and whatever is going on their back end, they're very good at figuring out if that's something you're into or not.
And
so
another thing, if you want to not, or to see what TikTok recommends to you, you can turn the camera and the mic off. That really like messes up the For You page. Yeah. So, and another thing is, if you watch all the videos until the end, it really messes up your For You page. And you see being so confused, like, I don't know what you like anymore. What do you like?
It just throws new stuff at you, and sometimes you end up for a day or two on like a completely different side of TikTok. But I'm sure we're gonna...
I think, no, they just like kind of start showing you more mainstream TikToks. So if you want to see what's really, really trending, you can just do these things, and then it's gonna eventually show you only like things that are blowing up.
Yeah. Also, another tip for everyone who might be getting into TikTok soon or right now after this podcast, download the app for sure. The first 1 to 2 days on TikTok are gonna be pure trash. You're gonna see everything that basically other people like for whatever reason, and it's just kind of like when you open up YouTube without having a YouTube account. It's just everything that somebody else likes right now, and TikTok is like, and then you kind of have to like actually watch content for a day or two for TikTok to figure you out as a person and your content preferences and what you're interested in, and then it starts to become good. Because we've heard that a lot from people where they're like, oh, I downloaded TikTok and I just hated it, and all the videos on there are trash.
Yep.
And it's like, well, TikTok doesn't know what to show you yet. And once they figure it out, they're the best at it.
Yeah, I also had like when I just gotten into TikTok, like I don't know, 3 years ago, because I had Musical.ly, but then I deleted it because I was like, oh, this is boring. I should be serious now. And then I downloaded TikTok like 3 times.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. And then I downloaded it again. And then I was like, okay, this is bullshit. But then I downloaded it one more time. And then I was like, you know, you're bored on the toilet. What should you do for half an hour? Cut that out or don't. I don't care.
It's a while on the toilet. But, you know, you do you. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, so you just look what apps you got on your phone, and then you start scrolling.
And then like everybody's been talking about TikTok. Well, I guess I got to check it out too now.
Yeah. Well, no, because nobody was really talking about TikTok.
No, but it was like brewing in the underground a little bit, like when they took over Musical.ly and stuff. You heard people talking about it. It wasn't like in the mainstream yet, for sure.
Oh, it was not at all mainstream. No. People were like, when I was on TikTok, they didn't even have the text thing, so you had to write on paper. So just like
purely
videos. You had to write it on paper and like show it.
Oh, that whole that was a phase on TikTok.
You couldn't upload in the app anything. You just had to film in the app and show it. It was like a story, because stories didn't have text on them either. Yeah, and you just like,
that was a whole phase with like people scribbling on things and then just like, you know, flipping through pages of written stuff. We're gonna make plenty more podcast episodes on TikTok, I'm sure. And I think this is kind of where I want to leave it for now, because like we covered like kind of how you got into Purple and like what we're doing and a lot about TikTok. Again, plenty more about TikTok.
I can talk more about me if you want to.
I know you like to do that. All right, cool. So, here we are. First podcast episode. Madishu, the one and only. Give it up, everybody. Clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'm sure we're going to see you plenty more in the future.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Of course, we'd love to have you on the podcast again if you're up for it. Make sure, everybody, to
maybe you can have me on the cooking show.
Oh yeah, of course there's gonna be a lot more content coming that is not out yet. This is the first cooking show. There's gonna be a cooking show. There's gonna be so much more content coming. We're gonna have a newsletter with all the
cooking show.
Just keep going. Just let me do my outro. Where was I? God.
Outro.
The outro.
Newsletter.
Yeah. There's gonna be so much more content coming. We're gonna have a newsletter. That's very, very marketing focused, where you're going to have like 3 times a week in your inbox, like the greatest and latest in marketing and business and everything. And we're going to have a cooking show on YouTube. That's going to be fun, which is going to be a little bit more casual than like this setting where it's a lot about business and stuff.
We're going to cook.
We're going to cook. Exactly.
And David's going to interview people.
Exactly.
That you
Not
might
interview. We're going to hang out with cool people.
And
we're
talk about the people.
Exactly. And not so much get into the business. So if you're interested for that, look out for that. We're having
cool people.
Cool people. Only cool people. We have plenty of products coming out, books. Hit us up for your 30-minute free consultation. Link is going to be down below. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify,
Do it.
Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to it. Google Podcasts, if you're that type of person. And I think we're going to see you in the next episode. I think the next episode is going to be with Eugen.
Do it.
Another one of our great purple people. Sure. Let's go with that. Purple people.
Oh my God. The fan base for Purple Media can be called Purple People.
Purple people. Great. We're running with it. Oh my God. Okay. Thanks so much for watching the first podcast. Subscribe, leave a likes, all that jazz. And we're going to see you in the next episode. Have a great week, everybody. And good night.
Bye-bye.